Join me today as we talk about washing behind your ears. Yes, your mom was right. You still got to do it. The auto pen, who was signing all Joe Biden's documents, the entitlement spending, the faucet is now shut off, and these lower district court judges that continually get in the way of the executive orders and the policies of Donald Trump. Stick around. You just might learn something. Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. Well, it's afternoon. I was taking a shower after I got done with working. I got done with the gym. And I was in the shower. I started thinking about stuff when I was a kid. I don't know. Sounds weird, but hear me out. So I'm there using a loofah. I'm washing my body. And it just hit me for some reason. When I was a kid and your mom would tell you to wash behind your ears. Remember that? Remember when you were like ghetto and used like a washcloth to actually wash your body? Yeah, those days. I haven't washed behind my ears in probably 40 years now. So I started going, well, maybe I should go behind there and see what's up behind my ears because I haven't done it in a long time. And the reason why, because if you ever wash your face with a loofah, it freaking hurts. So I don't mess with loofahs on my face. Okay, not at all. It's all hand to face. Loofahs on the body, hands to face. So I decided to go ahead and test it out and see what I got going on back there. And guess what? Zero buildup. That's right. 52 years, zero buildup of gook behind my ears. So apparently, Cookie was lying to me my entire life as a child. So, Mom, if you're watching this and you see this later on today, you lied. You lied. Anyway, that's the observation of the day. Now for the conversation. So Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan last week, and he was talking about some things, why everybody's attacking him. Now, you can believe this or not. It's up to you. But I try to tell people 1 + 1 sometimes really just equals 2. And you have to use your brain a little bit and decipher all of the things that are going on to really come up with your own conclusion. And there's only one conclusion in a lot of the things that we're figuring out. So he was talking about why the left is attacking him so much is because it's the entitlement fraud that they've discovered, like through Social Security and Medicaid and things like that. So this is how it works. So they were allowing all these illegals coming to the United States. And when they were coming to the United States, they were giving them Social Security, signing them up and giving them Social Security. Now, some states don't do that. State of Florida does not do that. Texas doesn't do that. But California and New York, they actually do that. In New York, you can actually register illegals to vote in their local and city elections. So they're letting them vote. So what happens if you're going to give these entitlements to these illegals, and these entitlements that they're giving them are equivalent to a living wage higher than 90% of the entire world. So if you're in these third world countries and you come to the United States and you're making $3,500 a month from Social Security, why are you going to go? You're going to keep coming here. They're going to keep coming here in droves. And that's what they're stopping. So the spigot is getting shut off. And the left is going absolutely berserk because that's what's going on. And they're calling Elon Musk the devil. They're saying Trump is the devil, and they're calling him all these names because they are losing voters. I get it. You don't know they're going to vote. But yes, that's why they're doing it. They're doing it to try to garnish vote for these people. Because if you come here and these individuals that are in charge right now are allowing you to have all these entitlements, they put you on Medicaid, they're giving you Social Security, they're giving you a free cell phone, putting you up in free hotels, who are you going to vote for? Absolutely. You're going to vote for the people that gave that to you. Because let's be honest, Nancy Pelosi is not allowing any of these illegals to come to her house. They're not. Schumer, what's his fucking first name? Senator Schumer is not letting illegals come to his house to hang out. They're not. But they're doing it to get votes. So the left figured out about 20 years ago that they can do this. They figured it out by going a little bit more to the left. They can garnish a different type of voter. And that's what they're going after. Now, not all Democrats are that way, but a majority of them are. And they started figuring out that even though they're in the middle somewhere or a little bit more to the left of center, they have to go farther to the left to go along with the policies that the leadership in the Democrat Party are putting out. So that's what they're doing. And you know, like, well, how do you know they're going to vote for them? What they're doing is they bring these populations into these cities and these towns and these counties. And what it does, it realigns the entire voting districts that they have. So if you have a certain amount of population, let's say in a in a red state like Texas. And let's say you start filtering all these individuals, these illegals, to come to a particular area in Texas where it might be predominantly Republican. You start filling them with a bunch of illegals there. You start getting them to vote. You start making them citizens. Now you got to redistrict that. So now that particular county is now blue, right? Or the population gets bigger in a certain state or a certain area. And now you have more congressional seats that you're allowed. And other areas of the country that maybe the population is going down loses that congressional seat. And another area picks up a congressional seat. And now what happens? If you're in a blue area and you got more blue seats for Congress, you got like a ringer, right? So you got all these places where people are voting in those districts and they're trying to build them up and make them more left, more blue. And by doing that, they're going to redesign the districts to get more congressional votes. That's what they're doing it. And that's why they were allowing all these illegals to come into the country over the past 4 years. It's in a tune about 25 million illegals that have come into our country. Now, there's a new program that the Trump administration is created to allow these illegals to go to the other country, go back to their country without getting caught or being flagged so they can't return back to the United States. The EB1 program that they had was if you're on that cell phone app that they had, you can go to that cell phone app, you can put your information in there, and they'd pick you up and they drop you off to port of entries of the United States. Now, that's a Joe Biden plan, the EB1 program. Now, what Trump did, they changed it to the EB Home program. It's the same app, and it already updated on all their phones that they got free from the government. And what that does is you go on that phone, you put your information in there, and you register that you're going to go back home. So if they catch you going back, you've registered, you take a picture of your face, they know your face is on there, look at your selfie, they see your information, and then they know you're headed back to the border, you're allowed to come back to the United States. That's what it's for. Because if you get caught in the country illegally and you don't do that, you are flagged and you can never return to the United States. So the EB Home program that they developed, which is genius, by the way, they allow you to put your information in there, F off back home, and you are allowed to return back to the United States through the front door the legal way. I think that's great. But that's what they're doing with all these entitlements. And Elon Musk is shutting off that water faucet, and they don't know what to do with themselves. They're screaming at Elon Musk and Donald Trump, but you have to understand the real reason why they're doing it. Because trust me, these Democrats don't want any of these people in their house unless they're trimming their bushes. Now, President Trump was out today talking about he wants to find out who was using the auto pen for Joe Biden. Now, if you don't know what an auto pen is, this is what it looks like. It's a device that records your signature and then it can duplicate it. You put a pen in it, you put a piece of paper underneath it, and it makes your signature. Every document that Joe Biden has signed, with the exception of his letter that he wrote that he was not going to run again, were all done by auto pen. Why is that? That's a big question. We have a president of the United States that's signing things with an auto pen. Now you can see every single one of Trump's executive orders, it's his signature because you can see how he's writing it. Every single one of them. Every order that he writes, he's proud to sign those documents. But Joe Biden, through his entire presidency, had his signature signed by auto pen. So that's a huge question. Who was really running the country and just putting stuff in front of Joe? Actually, they wouldn't even put anything in front of Joe. They were just coming up with it, putting it under the auto pen device, having that sign it, and they just went off and filed whatever it is they wanted to file with Joe Biden's signature because he wasn't signing it. And that just tells me right there, if he wasn't signing it, he had no idea what was going on. That's a huge red flag for our country. We had a president of the United States not signing anything, but yet all these executive orders went through, all these policy changes were going through, and they had a signature on it and nobody caught it. That just makes me wonder who was running the country. And if you're on the left and you don't understand that, like I keep telling you, there is no help for you. No help. If you can't figure out that somebody else, if Trump had an auto pen signature on anything, the country on the left would go berserk over it. So you need to start waking up, people. Somebody else was running this country for 4 years. And we finally got somebody that's running the country that's in charge, and you don't know what to do with it. And the left is going nuts because they had their cake and they're eating it too for 4 whole years. Auto pen. Look into it. So Carolyn Levitt was going off today, a bunch of reporters talking about the lower district federal judges that continue to try to stop Trump's administration from firing government workers and making new policies. Article 2 of the Constitution gives the President of the United States power over the executive branch. Now, USAID, the Department of Education, all of these government agencies fall under the executive branch. Who's the freaking CEO of the executive branch? That's the President of the United States. That's him. He's the numero uno. He's the head honcho. So he can fire whoever he wants. So we got these lower court judges that were put into power by Obama and Biden. And they are making all these decisions out of the blue. No, they're not. They are told what to do. Every that is on the left, these federal judges, they all have handlers. Every single one of them does. You think a federal court just says, "Oh, we're gonna stop this"? No, they get a phone call and they're probably compromised, and they have to do their bidding because if they want to get reelected, or they want to get another appointment or some other position later on, they got to do as they're told, and that's what happens. And that's the whole Epstein thing. Epstein had a lot of judges in their pockets because of the old Epstein stuff. So that's what's happening. So why are these judges, lower district court judges, stopping all of this stuff? I don't know. Look at the Constitution, Article 2. It'll tell you who can make the decisions. Is that what's going to happen? So if we have a president that decides we need to go to war or something, you're going to have a district court judge going to stop that? Is that really how our country is supposed to be run, by lower court judges? I get it. There are different branches of the government, the executive, the judicial, and the executive. But come on. These judges are obviously going rogue for one reason or one reason only, because they're probably compromised. And that's how they do it. They've been doing that way for a long, long time. It's not constitutional, because if the judges read the Constitution, they would understand that Article 2 gives President Trump the supreme power to do what he wants. Imagine you're a CEO of a company and you got to fire. The CEO is not going to fire a paper handler, but just say, hey, it happens if I have to fire the guy in the mailroom. He fires the guy in the mailroom. And then some court says, no, you can't fire the guy from the mailroom. Why not? He's the CEO of the entire company. He runs the whole show. He can't fire the mail guy? Yes, he can. And that's what these courts are doing. And that's what's happening. But you know what? He's going to prevail. I truly believe that. He's going to prevail. He's going to win. He's going to get his way. USAID is done. They got 300 employees. Department of Education, that's going to be done. Guess what's next on the chopping block? That's going to be done. Things are getting better already. You just got to withstand a storm for a little while. It's always pretty on the other side of that storm, right? And that's what's happening. Anyway, that's it for today. Join me next time for a little chit chat, some observation, and some good old-fashioned conversation. And don't forget, like, subscribe, pass to a friend. I'd appreciate it.